Now.
Please, can you just unmute yourself, please? If you know you're not talking, let's be orderly so that okay. So you're welcome to today's final training. And before I proceed with what we have for you today, I don't know if any one of you had gone through the previous videos, or maybe you've been part of previous trainings. I just want to hear one or two feedbacks before we continue today. I want to hear your feedback. Tell me about your experience in the last six sessions, and what is your expectation for today? Today, we are concentrating on business intelligence in Microsoft Excel. What is your expectation and what is your feedback concerning previous sessions? Thank you.
What I'm using. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Obafemi.
Yeah, just to appreciate you for your investment in ensuring that knowledge is not, nobody has an excuse in this age and time to be upskill. Don't mind me, I've not been able to look at all the video SQL training.
Okay.
And it was my first.
Okay. Thanks very much.
A lot better.
You're having
as a professional. Yeah.
Like you're breaking somehow. Yeah, but anyway, I get your feedback. Thank you very much for the.
So just to say thank you, and my expectation today is I should be able to.
All right, so we get this point. Interesting. Thank you very much for the positive feedback. So who else want to tell us something? Damilare, you want to tell me something? Ajibola, Abiola.
Okay, good morning. Sorry.
Good morning.
I'm currently on the sick bed.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. So far, so good. You've really blessed me, and through you, I was able to also pass the knowledge across to my friends and subordinates. I have been so grateful for meeting you because a lot of things has changed, impacted on me, and through this class, I was able to get a promotion at work, being the currently now the financial controller and head of finance for health. So I'm really grateful, and I'm looking forward to gain more and also see, because I've been able to show them at work that there are a lot that Excel can do. To an extent, I even built an automated invoicing system, which I put on Google Sheets, and it has been eye-breaking for everyone.
Wow.
So I'm really grateful. Thank you.
I would like to see that too, because we are learning together. Nobody's an island.
Yeah, sure. I will share it.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Thanks so much, Damilare. So without much ado, let's just jump into what we have for today. So let me see if I can just put up my camera for a short while. I want to, okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay. All right, hope you can all see me. Can you see me?
I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead. Ask me.
I don't know if I am welcome in this kind of gathering. I am a beginner when it comes to Excel.
Okay.
And so I just want you to know this so that you will just take it slowly. Please, I want to beg even other participants. Please, I'll just try to tolerate me. I'm a beginner when it comes to Excel. Thank you.
Right. There's always a starting point. But what I would just advise you is that This is just a narrow aspect of Microsoft Excel. We started a series that cut across, at least because we cannot exhaust Excel in a few days. There's no way. Excel is a very, very huge software. Even me, I can't tell you with all confidence that I know all about Excel. It's not possible. I will only know what I know and know it for what I use it for. So you can still go back to the earlier videos, day 1 to day 6. Are you a finance person or an accountant? Which one are you?
Actually, I'm just trying to start in a kind of a career in that. I think I would like that of finance aspect of it.
Yeah, so just go through the earlier videos. After, I'll share the link with everyone that participated in today's class. I'll share the link to you. And if you've not...
And to the previous videos.
Yeah, the previous videos, that's what I'm saying. Today's one and previous ones, I'll share the link with every one of you so that you can build on your knowledge step by step. So, but it's cool you're jumping into this because this is a completely different aspect of Excel, and not joining the earlier sessions will not really materially affect your ability to grasp today's training. So that being said, what we're talking about today, I didn't prepare PowerPoint slide, I'm sorry, because I was so busy with some other things. But what we are trying to talk about today is business intelligence with Microsoft Excel. Business intelligence seems to be a big word, a buzzword. Like, what is this actually? What does it actually mean? When we say business intelligence, what are we talking about? What is business? What is intelligence? Is there someone that wants to throw more light on that before we move forward? Business intelligence with Microsoft Excel. Mind you, we can carry out business. There are several business intelligence tools out there. SQL is a very, very important one for data modeling. Power BI for data modeling and visualization. Tableau. In fact, you can use Python for business intelligence, and Excel is just one of those tools. And Excel seems to be the earliest business intelligence tool. A lot of people have been manipulating data in Excel before the advent of all these other big names. But for now, can you just assist me? What do you understand by business intelligence? Anyone? What is business intelligence? Any assistant, please? Or do you want me to start calling names now? I have a lot of intelligent people here. I can call anybody.
I think I want to give it a try.
Okay, Daniel.
Yeah, so I think business intelligence is about analyzing past data of a business by way of presenting them in like charts and dashboards so that management can easily make decisions out of it. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good one. The bottom line that I want to hear is that management decision. But who else wants to define it in a different way? Who else wants to define business intelligence in a different way? Intelligence and then business. Anyway, if no one wants to talk about that, Daniel has given it a very good try, because even me as a person, I don't think I have a written down definition of business intelligence. But what the business intelligence is simply talking about is the deployment of different strategies and tools in order to make money out of organization or out of data. It's not necessarily it has to be an organization data, because organization can leverage both internal and external data to make decision. For instance, I remember when I was in France and my organization wanted to expand. And then we're looking at which part of the country should we expand into. We're already entrenched in Paris, but we need to expand into another city where the product will sell fast. And everything has to do with strategy. But the decision was not so complex, but just to make it easier to demystify that decision making for the management, I had to go into the government repository of data that breaks down the ages of citizens by the city they live. You know, what is the age range? I mean, what is the age range in Paris, in Lyon, in Marseille, you know, in Montpellier, different parts of France, in order to know where old citizens are more concentrated, because the product we offer is targeted towards old people. Now, where do we have the large population of old people? So my analysis made me to eventually come to a conclusion that we have them in the northern part of Paris than in the southern part, because the southern part is boisterous because of good climate, etc., and their students. So it's more of youth population in the south than in the north. So putting the data into Power BI, I was able to like make that decision seamless for the management, and we're able to launch in Lyon at that point. So that is the essence of business intelligence. And here we are talking about external data. Internal data could mean sales data, like the one we'll be treating today. It has to do with sales data. Like you have your data, sales by managers, sales by business units, sales by region, by states, by country, by product line, by age range. So you want to know what is the age range that is contributing. For instance, I did something for an insurance company in Germany, and they wanted to improve on what they are currently doing. So they gave me the data to model for them. And I was able to recommend to them that, you know, the age range that constitute a lot of insurance risk is the age range between 18 and 25, you know, because of exuberance, youthful exuberance and all those things. So they are very reckless in driving, and most times the cars were bought for them. They don't know how the pain of, you know, acquiring asset themselves. So they were reckless. And I was able to, like, you know, provide recommendations by just looking at the data. Look at the people that goes the highest mileage, the city that has the highest mileage in terms of driving. Look at the kind of insurance that is paying most. Is it pay as you go? Is it third-party insurance? You know, all those kind of things you can achieve with the power of data. So data is very, very important. With data, you can gain insight about, you know, the decision you should make to generate more revenue in order to, like, make the business to perform even better. So that is why organizations leverage historical data. They couple it with external data to know about the performance of maybe it could be their competitors. It could be a possible government decision over the past and how it's going to affect the organization in the future. So this is business intelligence. And in order to really gain that benefit from business intelligence, from this process in some organization, depending on the size of the organization and the volume of data available, it could be a very, very complex process, and it could be very challenging. Sometimes business intelligence process could take months, it could take 2 months, and it could cut across different units within an organization, and it could cut across different roles. If you look at some things I've posted in the last few weeks, when I was talking about the data wrangler, I talked about the data steward, I talked about the report writer, I talked about different things, and these are different roles within the business intelligence units. And all these, they have pivotal roles they play in order to achieve, you know, a reliable business intelligence. Because the bottom line is that whatever you are putting out to your management or to the user must be reliable for decision making. You don't want to give them, you know, data to you don't want to interpret data for them and they make decision based on that, and that decision now boomerangs. And maybe because of that, your organization made a loss. You told them to go and invest in certain business or to, like, borrow more money, and eventually it didn't work out. You don't want to be that kind of expert. That is why it has to be it's a very painstaking process. So there's the aspect of data shaping. Data shaping means that maybe you've been given a very rough data. If you look at one of my videos on how to produce an automated financial report from General Ledger, you will see the way I went through the process of cleaning that data. Because most times you would not have a clean data, except you have a very strong IT team that has helped you to model the data first, maybe with using SQL, and you already have that data in a clean form. Then you can just go ahead and do your visualization. But most times you'll be responsible, depending on the size of your organization, you'll be responsible for shaping the data, for cleaning it up, and for normalizing the data. A lot of time you'll be provided a denormalized data. Maybe a column with, maybe for instance, now you have a column with Shegun, another column with Adewumi, but that is not good for reporting purpose. We don't want to use Shegun to report, or maybe Adewumi. But in this case, you might want to combine the two together to form Shegun Adewumi. You understand? Maybe some things are on the rows that you want to transpose to the column, etc. So this is the first thing you have to do: data shaping, data cleaning. And even before data shaping, one thing you must do, I'm talking from just my head, I didn't write anything down. One thing you must do is that you must familiarize yourself with your data. That's the most important thing. You have to understand that data you want to work with. What is on all the columns? What is even the data talking about? Is it sales data? Is it procurement? Is it manufacturing? Whatever it is, you have to understand it first. Then after you must understand the columns. What are the columns talking about? And what do you want to achieve with it? What is the objective of your model? What do you want to achieve? You have to understand the data, and then you clean the data. You shape it, you normalize it, you put it in the right shape and form. Then you have to, after normalizing data, after cleaning it, after shaping it, then there's something that's called data modeling. Data modeling is just a way to extend the analytical capability of your data. And what we do here is that you use a lot of calculated columns and you write measures. And one powerful language that has helped us, which Microsoft had deployed since around 2012 or thereabouts, it started in Excel Pivot Table. It's the data analytic expression language that's called DAX, Data Analytics Expression Language. That is what developers use to extend the analytical capability of the data. For instance, now I have a data that has units sold, number of units sold, and I have a column that has a number of units sold, another column with sales price. Then what do you want to do with that? These two are useless, except you can find a way to multiply the number of units with the sale price to get your total amount sold. And that you can bring into your visualization. So that is what DAX does. DAX is a very powerful tool. It's the same thing we have in Power Pivots. It's the same thing in the data model of Power BI. It's the same thing in SSAS, SQL Server Analytical Services. So it's used in different ways, and it's very, very easy to write. Simply because if you are an already Excel user, you use Excel very powerfully, it will be very easy for you to transition to DAX, simply because Microsoft knew that Excel has a very large user base. And for them to transition to Power BI, they need to mimic a language that they are familiar with. So if you are an advanced Excel user, it will be very easy for you to write DAX. But mind you, today, we are only going to treat something not too complex because of time. We're going to just do something simplistic just to explain to you. And we'll write a little bit of DAX. We do our data shaping a little bit in Power Query. Then we move to Power Pivot, we write DAX. And we also show you where you can write your DAX directly inside Excel. So thank you very much for joining. I think I will say business intelligence is able to make use of past tools. Anyway, thank you very much for this, but it's not like making use of past tools. It's just like making meaning, helping organizations to demystify their decision-making process by leveraging historical data. Both, it could be historical data, it could even be a forecast data. By just leveraging data, it could be internal data or external data. Leveraging data to help organizations or to help users to make an informed decision. So right now, we just try to off my video. Okay. I want to share my screen, and I will just open like a blank Excel. So can you see my screen, everybody? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Daniel,
You can see.
Sukomi. Can you see my Excel screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, by the
Yes,
way,
we can
have you
see
all
you.
downloaded the data set I sent to you? You find the link in the chat box. But anyway, you can just pay attention to what I'm doing, and later just make sure you download it on your machine. And in fact, when I'm sending the video, I will still include the link. Now let me show you the data I'm working with today. Today is Day7. This is the sales data, fashion line data, because this is a business that is involved in manufacturing different clothing accessories. So this data here contains data that came from other states apart from Lagos. And I have the one for Lagos here, just Lagos only, sales from Lagos. So what I want to do now is that I want to show you how we can, because one thing I forgot to talk about is the power of business intelligence. The power of business intelligence is not in the iterative process of maybe, oh, there's more thing to do. You go back to the data wrangler. Data wrangler does one or two things. It sends it back to the report writer. The report writer also looked at it, send it to the data steward. The data steward corrects something and said, okay, this cannot work. Let's go back and include this particular column. Let's go back and add this data until they are able to achieve that robust dashboard or robust report. It's not just in that, because let's assume that took you 3 months to complete within a very big organization. And then eventually the data changes. Or maybe you now want to include data of the next year. Are you going to repeat that process? Then that means that the cost had defeated the purpose of that business intelligence. So the power of business intelligence, the value. Let me show you where the value lies. When you come to this, your data, the value is in this refresh button. Do you understand me? Everything we are talking about today, no matter the complexity of what we are able to do, here lies the value. What do I call it? The refresh button. Okay? And can somebody tell me why the value lies in this refresh button?
Because when you refresh, it brings it up to date.
Thank you very much. If you have done your homework properly, it should update every changes that you've made to your data. And that is what we'll be looking at today. So first and foremost, this is my blank Excel. And this is where you can access Power Query. You can see this get data. Get data shows you different data sources. And I think we have more than 50. These are the ones from file, Excel file, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF. You can also get your data from folder. This is one you can get from database, SQL database, Microsoft, a lot of them. And you can also come here. There's a place that says data source, more. Okay, maybe that I can find it in the Power Query. there's supposed to be a place for more that you can even get your data from web. So that's just that about that. Then I want to get my data from folder this time around. And you will see the reason why I'm choosing folder. So I will navigate to where I have that data. My video content, Microsoft Excel automation, Day7, and then this is sales data without Lagos. Then I can open that up. So now it's going to launch the Power Query Editor automatically. You can see now that we have the sales data here. This is the data. So this is telling us about the extension. It's an Excel extension, date accessed, date modified, everything. You can get some summary metadata. They call this information metadata. So about your data sets. Then you come to this combine. You can just when you click on this transform data, it will launch the query, the Power Query Editor automatically. But if you feel that data is in a normalized form, is in a clean form, that you don't need to shape it, you don't need to go through Power Query, then what you just need to do is just load. You can load. When you click on load, it will load to Excel. But when you click on load to, it will load to data model. And data model is simply talking about the Power Pivot in Excel. But this time around, simply because we still have one or two things to do, let's just click this combine. And you remember that our objective is to be able to combine data, because even though we are having one here, I'm still going to drop additional data inside that same folder. So when you click on combine, you can click on combine and load if everything is all right. But here we want to click combine and transform data. Now you can see we have a table and we have sales data. This sales data is talking about just the sheets. And this table, ordinarily, it's because why this thing had already promoted the column header is because I've already formatted the data as table, even in Excel. But if it was not formatted as table and you just load it like that, this table would have promoted would have promoted the data, would have promoted the column header. Why this wouldn't? We need to go and do that manually in Power Query. So just select your table and then click OK. Now you have a different window apart from Excel. This is your Power Query Editor. It's the same thing, it's the same Power Query Editor in Power BI, but only one or two differences you get, but largely the same thing. If you're able to learn this very well, you can use the query editor in Power BI. So we can just close that one up. Then this is the data we are looking for. Let's rename it to Crystal Farwell sales data. You can rename like that. And to rename, you can even you can right click on that data itself and click on your rename. So do we need the file name? The file name? No, we don't need it. There are two things you can do. You can decide to, I think there should be a place to hide it. Okay, that can be done in the data model. So one thing we want to do is that let's just delete this file name. We don't need it. So you can remove it from here. You can come to remove column here and just remove this column, or remove other column if you want to remove other columns, but just remove this present column like that. Then let's just do, the data is substantially clean. If you want to look for dirty data, go through that my video on YouTube. So you come here, let's try to, we have the dates, we have the financial year, we have the fashion line. This fashion line, we have two categories. One is Brilliant Girl and Lagos Style. I just made that one up because I have to make up this data set. So we have different states in Nigeria. We have the country, which is Nigeria. We have different managers, as you can see them. We have different names there. We have different categories of products. You can see for adornment, children, footwear, groceries, hosiery, men, minor, etc. We have buyer. We have units sold. We have manufacturing price. We have sale price. We have discounts. So here, I will really advise that whenever you are modeling your data, as many columns that you can do in Power Query, do it there. Because most of this, because you're going to calculate gross sales by multiplying these our units sold by our sale price. And we're not going to calculate net sale by subtracting, gross sale minus this discount should give us our net sale, and we calculate the cost of sales. So all these things, we can also achieve them in our Power Pivots. We can achieve them in the data model, but as much as possible, whatever you can do in Power Query, do it here, because there is a little performance advantage. Because by the time you are loading into Power Query, it will compress it. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So you gain some performance advantage by doing a lot of things here in Power Query before you move to Power Pivots. By the time you are writing DAX and all those things, it takes a lot of memory space. And mind you, DAX uses memory, your computer memory. It doesn't use computer disk, it uses computer memory. So DAX could be very, very heavy, so it's better you do whatever you want to do here in Power Query. That is just the bottom line. So let's see our units sold multiplied by sale price. So the way I did that is just to long press on my control and then highlight the two columns. And then we want to use this is our multiplication sign. So we can just say multiply. And then you have everything multiplied. By the time you do it, you can use your calculator. Units sold of 1,006 multiplied by 350. You should have what we have here. So you can rename it by coming here. You can even rename it here. You can see rename here. And you can also double click on here, on this column, and rename it as what? Gross sale. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. That is exactly why we are here. So this is another way. You can leverage all this, add, multiply, subtract, divide, all those things, to create a new column. So you just highlight the column you need. Then you come to this, your hard column ribbon. Then you use the operation that you want to use here. So another way to also create column is to come to this add column again. You see custom column. So what column do you want to create? Let's say you want to create net sales. Okay, let's just do cost of sales first. Cost of sales. So you come here. So Excel had already given you a list of the column in your data. Then you come to units sold. You click on insert. Multiply by what? Manufacturing price. You click on your inserts, and automatically it will generate your cost of sales for you. And this is it, cost of sales. So the last thing we want to do now, let's use the same methodology. Let's get our net sales. And we already have a column for gross sales. You insert that one. Minus what? Minus discounts. You insert that one and you click on your OK. Now you can see we have our net sales. Look at the gross sales minus discounts. You can see everything here because the discounts here are just 0. So it's the same thing. But by the time you get to this row 20, you can see now that your net sales is a little bit lesser than the gross sale. Here we have 27,615. Here we have 27,338, simply because we are recognizing a discount of $276. Okay. Now, one thing you must do before you exit this query editor. Mind you, there are a lot of things you can do in your query editor. A lot that you can do here. But because of time, I chose to work with a very simple data set. Next year, we're going to launch a full program on Microsoft Power BI that will take you from beginner level to the very, very advanced level in terms of DAX, in terms of use of query editor, everything that you need to learn. It's going to be a very powerful session. Now, but there are a lot of things you can do. You can split your column. You can add, a lot of things. You can merge column. See your merge here. You can merge. A lot of things can be done here. But we just decided, and in fact, you can even write your code here. If you go to Advanced Editor. So everything we've done here, Power Query had translated everything to what? To code. And this code is called the M code, Mashup Programming Language. M code, M language. So this is a language that is used by query editor, Power Query. Power Query uses a different language. Data model, that is Power Pivot, uses a different language. The language of Power Pivot is DAX, Data Analytics Expression Language. But the language of Power Query is Mashup language. So it has you can write your own code. It's also an advanced level of Power Query. So everything like this we're going to treat next year. But let's just stick to these are very simplistic data. Now, after we've gotten that correctly, the next thing you should look at before you ever exit your Power Query, look at your what? Your data type. This one had already automatically defaulted to date data. Date data. You can also choose a date time. So it's changed to date time, but let's just stay with date data. Replace. So this one had chosen text. This ABC simply means text. We have decimal, currency, whole number, percentage, date, time, date. And we also have the same thing here. If you click here on your home ribbon and data type, you see everything here. So just let us check each column to be sure that Excel had automatically selected the right data type. So all these are correct in text. We want them in text. But when you come here, this unit, let's just make it a whole number, okay? Manufacturing price, let's make it in currency, US dollars. But you can also change it to Naira or something, but it's a bit of a long process. Let's just leave it as US dollars. Sale price, the same thing, US dollars. Discounts in US dollars. Gross sales in US dollars. Cost of sales, the same thing. And net sales, the same thing in US dollars. So now that we have the right data type, we can then come back to our home ribbon, then click on load, close and load. We only go straight to Microsoft Excel without going to Power Pivot. But we want to close and load to data model. So by the time you click on that, so you check this button that says add data model. If you click on create only connection, what that will do is that it will not be loaded inside Excel. You understand? We are only creating connection with Power Query, but that your data set will not be loaded inside Excel. Or maybe I should just show you what I'm talking about. If I click, okay, let's assume I didn't check it. Let's just say table. If it is here, it's going to create a table in Excel. But we don't need a table in Excel. Let's just create only connection and then click OK. So everything is going into Power Pivot now. That's now that it's creating that connection to Power Pivot. Now that everything has been done, how do we access our Power Pivots? How do we access Power Pivot in Excel? There's already a tab here that is called Power Pivots. Okay? So if you don't have this, possibly you may need to go to your file, then more options, go to your customized ribbon, and then just search for it here. If this is unchecked, then you can just check it so that you have your Power Pivots in Excel. And I think this is available in Excel from Excel 2016 or thereabouts. Earlier version is just earlier version, it was an add-in tool. But since Excel 2016, you have it as part of Excel. It's been integrated into Excel. So let's go to our Power Pivots. And here you will see Manage Data Model. You can see it now. You click on Data Model. And then this is the data we've loaded. Can you see anything familiar? This is your month, your financial year, fashion line, states, country, manager, everything that we've done. We have everything replicated here. So I was trying to tell you the other time that you can achieve the same thing. This gross sale, cost of sales, net sales, you can achieve it using DAX. Now we're going to do just one and we delete it again because we've already done it. So you have this, your add column. When you click your add column like this, you come here. Let's name these as gross sales and in brackets, data model, because we are doing it in data model. So if you want to do this kind of calculation, you first have to type your full column like this, and then your equals to, okay? And then you're now saying that units sold, which is here. When you see this kind of square brackets, it's showing you that this is a column. So you pick it with your tab. So you use your multiply by what? By sales price. By the time you start typing it, to just show it automatically. You just scroll to it. You can use this, and at the same time, you can also use this sales price here. Sales price. This is just showing you that, okay, this sales price column is on Crystal Trowell sales data sets table. You know, this is first referencing the table before referencing the column. There are instances that we need this kind of thing, especially when you are leveraging relationship. When you're trying to create a relationship, maybe many to one, one to many, many to many relationship. And this kind of thing will be very, very helpful, but we are not going into that today. Let's just select our sale price. So you can see it, units sold multiplied by sale price. And next thing you just do is to click your enter. So we should have the same thing with this gross sales. Now you can see 14,610, 14,610, 8,000. So let me just leave it that way for purpose of reference. So at this point, this is what is called calculated columns. We have something we call, in DAX, we have different aspects of DAX include calculated columns, calculated measures, calculated tables. You can do time intelligence, and you can do context manipulation. So that is that about that. So any question so far? Any questions so far? Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 20 people here. Any questions so far? Am I too fast? Am I too slow? Am I explaining the concepts appropriately? Please tell me. Hello, guys. I have a lot of people here. Mr. Adetola David. Any question? Any question? If there's no question, just tell me so I can move on. Okay, let me read this message. No question for now from Temitope Eniola. Anyone else? You can use the chat box. Tell me. I want to be sure you are not sleeping. Please share the link to the file again. I will share the link, but okay, somebody has shared it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sam. So any question? No question, no question. Fine. So that is all about calculated tables. We've been able to create a calculated table apart from what we did in Power Query. Now let's calculate some measures. And measures are very, very important. In fact, what gave Power BI the acceptability is the ability to calculate calculated measures. And the usefulness of calculated measures is that you can use it even within code. You can use it inside of code. You can call upon it. it's much more important than calculated columns to my own. In my own opinion, it's much more important than calculated columns. And you need to pay attention here. We're going to write a few calculated measures. So how do we write that? You can write that here. Just click this place and start typing maybe some of, you can see that as you are typing here, it's already showing in this formula bar. You can make the formula bar bigger. But since we are not writing complex code, so let's just leave it the way it was. So we want to calculate sum of sales. And this time around, we don't need this gross sale. We don't need it for anything again. Okay? We don't need the gross sale for anything. We only need our net sales. So the same way, first, your full column is important before you have your equal to sign. Otherwise, it's not going to work. If I just say equals to, and I want to say, you can see now that it's not, IntelliSense is not helping me. You understand what is called IntelliSense? That little thing that guides me on how to write my code is not coming up. I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I have to include, this is just Power Pivot. It's not the same thing in Power, in Power BI. It's not the same thing. It's just Excel. That is a style. Just click on your full column and then your equals to sign. And then you come here. We want to do our sum of what? Of sales. And this is what we're talking about, net sales. So you pick that one up. And this thing is what I'm calling IntelliSense. This little thing that shows below your code, that guides you to write your code. It's also available in Excel. So you close that up. You click on your OK. Now we are having the sum. You can see it here. This is a measure that you've already created. If it's a Power BI, you see it by your right hand here. You see the measures here. So we have our sum of sales. It's just like an aggregation of total item in this our net sales column. So I like to quickly format any calculated measure I create. I want to format it as English United States. This is called fixed decimal in Microsoft Power BI. I need just one decimal place. So if I open it up, you will see it. This is 11,197,000. So let's just do one more here. And I will now go and show you how to do it even inside Excel. Let's do sum of cost of sales. My full column again equals to sign. And then I do my sum. Where is my cost of sales? By the time I start typing, it will just bring it out. Cost of sales. So you can see it now. I close that. So let's format it also immediately. So mind you, there are different functions in Power Pivot to use. You can calculate a lot of things. When you go to time intelligence, you can calculate your year to date. You can calculate your year over year. You can calculate your same period last year, different manipulation you can do. So the next thing, let's calculate our profit here. So when I was telling you the other time that I like measures because you can easily call upon a previous measure that you've written. Now, this is an example of it. Let's do our profits. Let's do our profits. So instead of now saying this, you can just call on your measure immediately. Just say your sum of sale, then minus sum of what? Of cost of sales. And automatically you have your profits. Let's format that also. You can see now that the difference between 11 million and 10 million is giving you this your 1.1 million. That's our profit. So let's go to Excel and continue to calculate more measures. So you can just close, or otherwise you can just save it here. And then that one has been closed. There's even no need to save it. It's automatic. So let's try to calculate more measures here in Excel. What else do we want to calculate? Let's calculate sum let's calculate profit margin here. So if you come to this pivot here, you see this ribbon that is called pivots, power pivots. So from power pivot, you come to this place that is called measures. Click on measures and say new measures. Okay, so it has already recognized that table, Crystal Trowell sales or something like that. So you give it a name.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's only me, but the page is not moving.
The page is not moving as well.
Yeah, because it's just showing the page where you have the power pivots. Then I think you clicked on it to see the new measures, because I can't see the new measures.
All right. Anyone else having that same issue?
Same here.
Yes,
Yes,
on a blank Excel.
same here.
Okay, you're on a blank Excel. Can you see my Excel sheet?
Yes, I can see Excel sheet.
Okay, that is exactly what I want to show you, because we want to create new measure in Excel, not in Power Pivot. I've closed out Power Pivot.
But I was thinking that you said when you come to the new Excel sheet, you click on power pivots, then you click on new measure, something like that. But
yes, I just come to this ribbon, this Power Pivot ribbon here.
Yeah.
You can click File, you can click different things, you can click Home. But this is where I'm going to Power Pivots. And in Power Pivot, I want to click Measures. Can you see the measures here? These are the things that you can do under Power Pivot ribbon. You can go to Data Model, create measures, create KPI. Can you see measures?
No, I can't see measures too.
Have you clicked on the Power Pivot? Because
yes,
nothing is showing.
I've clicked
no,
on
it's not showing here.
Oh, that means
confirm that you're still sharing.
Okay, could that be?
We're not seeing your actions.
Okay. Maybe that is my internet. All right, my internet is connected and I can hear everybody. So okay, let me just if I close this now. Okay, let me name this and close it up. Let's see. Save as. Excel automation 7. Okay, let me just close this out and then reopen it. So can you see the Excel workbook now? Hello, can you see the workbook?
No.
You still
It's just the actions are still not moving.
Okay, so what I'll do is that I'm using a SpectraNet modem, but I'll just switch to. Unfortunately, I don't have data on my phone. Let me just try to get internet on my phone so that I can use that.
Sorry, please, probably I would suggest you stop sharing, then you stop sharing your screen, then you share again.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you very much. And then share again. So can you see it now? Can you see my actions now? Hello? Hello, can you see my actions now?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, you can see everything. Oh, interesting. Thank you very much for that suggestion. So we come to new measures. You come to this, your Power Pivot ribbon, then click on measures, then new measure. Now it had already brought out the table where you want to create the measure from. You just have to rename as profits margin. Okay. Then you come here, you can write your DAX here. So let's call this, okay, let's call on our, that will be, how do you calculate profit margin? One way you can do that is say profit, we already calculated it, divided by net sales. We have the measure already, so that's what I want to use. Sum of sales, okay? And here you've already computed your measure. It will give you your profit margin automatically. But can somebody tell me the limitation of this method? Let me click OK. And let's just try to do one or two things. Let's just try to create a pivot table very quickly. You click on this, your pivot table here. So we want to leave it on this worksheet, existing worksheet. We click OK. All right, we can add our words. Let's just add our, let's add our category, product category by words. By, let's go to our measures. So this is what we differentiate the measures you computed from the calculated columns, or the columns available in the table. So the measures, we always have this FX to separate it from the other ones. So let's do it by sum of sales. We want to have our cost of sales and also the profits. I don't like this location. Let me take it somewhere else. Control X, we cut that one out, and I can put it here. Alt HOI to expand it like that. So I have my sales, I have my cost of sales, and I have my profits. The limitation of a pivot table in Excel, it can accumulate a lot of data sets in a table. I really don't understand, because what the question I'm asking is like the limitation of computing your profit margin by just saying, I mean in DAX now, by just saying or profits divided by sales to compute your profit margin. So what is the limitation? And I will explain to you in a moment. So we have our profit and we have our profit margin also. So you can see that is showing now. We have to like format it. Let's go back to that measure by going back to your Power Pivots measure. This time around, you click on Manage Measures. You can see all the measures, the ones that we even created in Power Pivot as still here, sum of sales. So you can just come to your profit margin and edit. Okay, so it should be, we can make it numbers. When you click on this number, it will now bring out another format area, and then format as percentage. 1 decimal place is okay. So I was talking about this method of saying profit when you use this, your operator sign, operation sign of / divided by sum of sales. The problem here is that it doesn't have the capacity to manage divide by zero situation. When you encounter a situation whereby in your sum of sales, you now have zero value. If it ever happens in your data, maybe you are trying to say one data divided by the other, and the denominator is 0, it's going to give you an error. That is why automatically when you use the divide function, it automatically undoes the divide by 0 situation, and it will just return 0 instead of returning error for you. So in this case, as much as possible, when it is possible for you to use the divide function, use it instead of using the /. So when you say your divide, what is the numerator? The numerator will be profits, and the denominator will be what? Sum of sales here. And everything has been formatted. You click on your OK. All right. That has been done. You can see now it's formatted in percentage. Let me demonstrate one more thing to you. I want to borrow from this pivot table already created. And then I want to remove this. Let me remove the profit margin. I want to remove the profits. I want to remove the cost of sales. So if you don't understand anything, just let me know. It's just the same thing as doing your pivot table in Excel, okay? If there's a question, do not hesitate, please. Don't be shy. Now, what I want to achieve is that I want...
Excuse me, I have a question. Excuse me. Please, okay. From where you got to the new measure and came up with all of this, I got a bit... I actually had glitches. Then coming back, I got... As in, I don't know. I don't understand what you have done.
Okay, the essence of going to Power Pivot, I just want to show you that what we were doing in pivots, in Power Pivot, like creating those measures, we can also do them here. Excel had provided us, Power Pivot is a back end, Power Query is a back end, VBA is a back end. But Excel had also given us an opportunity to do the same thing in the front end. Though we cannot create calculated tables in the front end, but we can create calculated measures. If you want to create calculated tables, you have to go to the back end, which is the Power Pivot, to create those calculated columns. But to create measures, you can decide to do it in Power Pivot, and you can decide to do it here in Excel. I just come in here if you already understand the structure of your table. So what we did is to create, click on this measure, new measure. Now let's calculate one more. Before I calculate this one more, I want to explain it first. So what we did was just to rename it as profit margin, like this, profit margin. And then we said divide, the numerator will be profit. You know the way we calculate profit margin now as accountants. And the denominator will be what? Sum of sales. These are the measures that we already created in Power Pivot, and we are just leveraging them. So this will give us your profit margin, and you can decide to format that towards, you click on this, your number, and you format as percentage. You can click on your currency, and you choose the kind of currency you are looking for. You just scroll through and you select the currency you are looking for. You can see there will be Great Britain pounds, etc. So but what we're looking for here is just the percentage. Then you click OK. Automatically that measure has been created. And even when you go to Power Pivot, you will see that it would have been added to the measures that we created earlier. So I'm just going to cancel this one out. So after we've done that, you can then select from here. You can select, if you know how to use pivot table, you can just select, you can put this on the rows, value on the volume section here. This is what is called GUI. GUI. GUI simply means that you can use a kind of drag and drop approach to create your table or for data analysis, just as we have it in Power BI, the same thing we have in tabular analysis. So let's move forward. I want this total here, this grand total, to be repeated everywhere on this row so that I can have my percentage of total sales. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let me just pay special here. Okay. And here I'll format as currency. So I want this same thing to be repeated on each of these rows. What is going on? So I want everything like this. And then so that I can calculate my total sales, sales per each product line divided by total sales. So here I will get my percentage of total. I want here percentage of total. So I will know what adornment represents, what is the percentage of sales upon the total sales here. So I will just be able to drag everything down and get my percentage of total for each of the categories. All right, so that's what I want to achieve. I'm just going to clean this out. Okay, so the way we're going to write this, we are going to leverage something that is called calculate. Let me just call this sum of sales, and I put all. So that means that I want to override filter. You know, ordinarily, when you put your sum of sale, this product category is filtering it down, is filtering it down. Like for instance, now, if I didn't put my, let me close this again. If I remove this, my product category, it's just one lump sum, 11 million. But what filter context is doing is that by the time I introduce product category, if I introduce by category, it filters it down to each of those categories. If I remove my product category and I want to filter it by the managers, it also filter it down based on the manager. You can even introduce multiple things. You can introduce multiple things like this. So this is what is called filter context in DAX. Filter context is being recognized. But what we want to do is that we want to override that filter context so that the filter context does not work. Okay? Let me put back my category. So I want to override this, the way this category is filtering down my results. I want to override it so that this will come here and it will be repeated on each rows. So the way I will do that in DAX, I will go back to my Power Pivots. Go back to Power Pivots, new measure, and I'll call this sum of sales all. So that means that we want to override the filter context. So we come here. How do we write this? There's one function in DAX that helps you to override your filter context. You can override your filter context. You can manipulate it. You can change it. So this is how we're going to do it. It's called calculate. This calculate function is one of the most important functions in DAX. You can use it for your YTD. You can use it for your year end. Different things you can achieve with calculate. All right. So what is it? It's asking us for the expression. What is the expression? The expression is this, our sum of sales. So we type it in, sum of sales. So how do you want to filter? That's the next thing. You want to filter all. Okay. You select your all. You want to filter, you want to override the filter of the entire table. Okay. And this is it. So you want to override. This first aspect is telling you that you want to override, the second parameter is saying override all this Crystal Trowell sales data. So that means that no line, it shouldn't be filtering by any line in this particular data. Okay, so you close that out. Okay, you close your all and you close your calculate function. And let's just try to format it. Let's format it as currency and then just one decimal place, and we click OK. So let's now see if we'll be able to achieve our objective or not. So you just come here, sum of total all, you put it in. You can see now that the filtering had been overridden. We have successfully override filter context. It's no longer filtering by this category of products, but everything is being repeated line by line. So let me entertain our questions now. Someone said he can't hear. Lillian. So which one can you not hear? Please tell me. You can unmute yourself and speak. So I want to entertain your questions now before we will soon go to the visualization. But this is the aspect that the data wrangler handles. This is where you do your hard work. This is where you sweat it before you go to presentation. So any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Any question? Do you understand how I'm able to override the filter context?
Please, can you explain one more time?
You want me to explain again?
Yes, please. Okay.
Let me go back to, but you know, you understand our objective, right?
Do you understand? Because you don't want it to filter individually.
Yeah, so let me now go back to the code. So go back to this, our measure, manage measure, and these we edit it this way. Let's just delete it and start over again. So I'm telling you that the function in DAX that we use to override filter context, because filter context is already in place now, but we want to override it so that it doesn't work. So we use our calculates. That is it. So there are two parameters you need to pass into calculate. Number one, the expression. So this calculate is not only used to override filter context. It's also used to manipulate filter. For instance, now, maybe you have a data set with different dates and you only want to return data for year. I mean, maybe you have from 2000 to 2010, but you can use this calculate to return results for only 2010 and to eliminate all the results from 2001, I mean, from 2000 to 2009. Another thing you can use it for is your year end. You understand? For instance, now, automatically, Power BI will default to 31st of December year end. But you can use calculate to specify that the year end that you're looking for is 30th of June. So you have been able to manipulate filter context in that respect. So, but in this, what we want to use it for here, we want to use it to override filter completely so that there's no filtering taking place. So what expression are we looking at here? We are looking at the sum of sales. So what do we want to override? Is it all, or is it all except? Is it all selected? We want to override all, okay? And which table is this one coming from? It's coming from this Crystal Trowel sales data. That is what we want to override. So we click our OK. All right, do you understand now? So that means that this table should not filter. This table should not filter. That is what we're talking about. All rows in this Crystal Trowel table should not filter. Okay? So you close bracket for all, close bracket for calculate, and then you click on your OK. And that is what we are having here. So the next thing I want to do is my percentage of total. So I want to do something here whereby I have my adornment divided by total sale to give me what this represents in the grand scheme of things. In percentage, and I want to do the same thing here. Okay, yeah, because it's Power Pivot is not, before I can achieve that, I need to come here. Power Pivot uses absolute referencing. If you understand our subject on referencing, it uses absolute referencing. So I think now I can copy it down. It's still not working. Where else is, do I need to waste my time on this? I also need to unlock this. So I think it should work now. So eventually it doesn't work. So I don't want to waste my time on that. This divided by this. So this is what I want to achieve for each of the lines. Okay. So now I'll just need to delete this one. Then create another measure. Go to my Power Pivot. All these things that we are doing here, we can actually do them in Power Pivot. So new measure. And what do you want to call this? We want to call this one percentage of total sales. All right. So that is simple. We just use our divide function again. Divide. The numerator will be what? Will be sales. Will be sum of sales. Sum of sales. What will be the denominator? The denominator will be sum of sales all. So we close that. We want it in what? In percentage. And then we make it one decimal place. We click on our OK. So here, let's just open that up, HOI. And then you scroll to the new measure we just created. And you put it here. All right. Now we've been able to achieve that. Finally, I just use this to explain to you how to use pivot table. But we're not going to be working with pivot table. You can also create your dashboard with pivot table if you can edit it very well. There is a lot you can do here. For instance, this place that we have all these things here, you can just come here. Let's try to format this table here. You come here. Maybe you don't want to see the subtotal. There's no subtotal anyway. Can I say do not show subtotal? Do not off for row and total. This is our grand total. We want to off it. So you take that out. You can come to your layout here. You can say, I want to show it in a tabular form. And also all items in the label should be repeated. You can decide to come here, format how it will look like. You understand? Then you come to your this pivot analyzer. So there's a lot you can do here. But let's give this a name. Let's give this pivot table a name. It's very important as you're working. Immediately give your pivot table a name. So what do you want to call this? Let's say table. And this should be sales, COS, cost of sales, profits, and then profit margin. Okay, so we've been able to change that table name, and you will see the essence of it because you're going to call on this table name very soon. So do we need this? This is just for explanation purpose. So let's just call this sheet what? Let's call this sheet sales by category. Okay. Then let's quickly create a chart. Let's just leverage these two rows here. Sales by category. You come to your insert ribbon. Then you come to your chart. When you see this drop down arrow, it means that there's still a lot you can choose from. Also, you can click on your pivot charts. You can click pivot charts. Then you come to, let's use sales by category. Should we use, okay. Let's just use column charts. Let's use this. This one is called clustered column. Or, okay, let's do something else. Let me remove, I've been able to explain this to you. So let me just remove all this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And then let me bring in the fashion line here. So I'm able to break this. You can see now that filter context is still operating even on the column basis. So let's remove grand total. Go to design of grand total. I don't need that. So from here now, I can create a chart. Highlight everything, come to your inserts, then come here, click on your line charts, right? Okay, click on line chart. Okay, let's just bring this down. Just leave it like this for now. Let's go to another worksheet. Let's call this sales by managers. Okay, so again, let's go to our Power Pivots, pivot table. On this existing worksheet, you click OK. Then you bring your sum of sales, this one here, in the value section, and you go to manager. Click on your manager. Then we have it like this. So let's also filter it down by the fashion line. So very quickly, let's off both rows and column. So you can see that some manager did not sell Brilliant Gill, but they have sale under Lego style. So that is just it. Now we can create a chart. You insert this. Because another thing that is important is your data presentation. You have to understand the chart that goes with a particular data. For instance, now you don't expect me to now put this in pie charts. So what is this? Will this one explain anything? It's too clumsy, okay? So you have to know what goes with what. So this is better with this kind of charts, bar charts. And I don't want this bar chart with multiple columns. I want a full, you can see 100% stacked bar charts. That's what we want to use. Then we click on our OK. You can see now we have our 100% stacked bar chart. Then let's go. We want sales by states. We want to know the performance of Ibadan, the performance of Oyo State, of Kogi State, of Nasarawa, etc. So we have to bring back the pivot table again. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, actually. So we can say sales. Where's our sales? Sum of sales here. By what? By states. So I want you to pay attention here. There's a little bit of, Okay, so you have to pay attention here because pivot table, I mean, if you want to do map charts, when you see this kind of data set, it's better presented with map charts. You understand? For example, if you have countries in Africa, you can use map chart to show their performance, states in the United States, cities. So it's better use map charts to show this to present this kind of information. But map chart will not work with pivot table. Let me show you now. Let's say I want to use this pivot table. I go to insert map. You can see it's not working. You can't create this chart type with data inside the pivot table. Please select a different chart type or copy the data outside the pivot table. So it will not work except you copy the entire data and then paste special somewhere else. .HOI. So let's format this a little bit. I prefer to format these in million. Okay. So let's just, if you press your Ctrl+1, it will bring up your format window. And then this is general. You customize it. When you come here, you know it's showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can just reduce it. You press your comma, it already showed it in 1,000. Another comma, it's showing a million already. Then put your MN, a million, and then put your $sign in front. Okay? Any questions so far? So when you click OK, it will give you those things in million. Let me just put decimal point here. Let me just put 1 decimal place. So this makes it easy for you to read that this is, okay, this is equivalent to maybe 230,500,000, like that. Any question, please tell me. Now you can create your map charts. You can create your map charts. You come to this, your home. I mean, you come to your insert ribbon. Then you click on your map. So can somebody tell me why this is not showing my map? Even though it's showing states, each state in Nigeria. Do you know why? So you can see what this thing is showing me, and this is not the way I want it to look like. What can I do? I need help. I need help. Owolabi, Patricia, I need help. Somebody should help me. Sukomi, Sam, Temitope, Malik, Marihan. I want a Nigerian map to show, not Africa map and just highlighting Nigeria. It's just guessing that it's likely it is here. But Bing is not sure because this is I mean, this map chart is leveraging the power of Microsoft Bing. You can see it's here, powered by Bing. So it has sent it to space and it's not able, it cannot guess properly. Had it been its US states now, it will bring it out once and for all. I don't know why it's finding it difficult to pick that it is Nigeria. So how can I go about this now? Okay, so in this situation, what we're going to do is that let's include the country. If you come here and put in country like this, and I want country to show on all the rows. So what you just come to your report layout, show in tabular, and then repeat all items label. So you can see that now. So you can then copy this data. Let me just delete this first. Then you paste special, Alt ESV. You paste special like that, Alt HOI. We open it up. Let me just quickly format it. I already have it done here. I already have it customized. I just need to select it. So this is it. Now we can now create our map charts. Insert map. So you should pick Nigeria automatically, all things being equal. So you can see now we have our Nigeria map all formatted. All right. So we have it from 11 something million. Okay, one thing I want to do, let me just eliminate this grand total. Let me eliminate the grand total. So that will make us to be able to see it well formatted. Let's just leave it here for now. We'll format everything later. So the next thing, let me just see the next chart we are going to create. Let me check my notebook here. So sales by date. Okay, let's do sales by dates. All right. Sales by date. But we still have a lot to do. I think I need to be faster. We have a lot to do. Okay. Let's just quickly do that. Go back to your data model and then pivot table, this existing worksheets. Then bring out what is it called again? Field chart or field list. You just right click and bring it out here. Or you go to this data, then you click on this your field list. So it bring this one out. So you come here. We want our sales again because we are interested in sales. We want our sales here by dates. Where is our date? Date month. Let's use the date month. Okay, if I just bring my month here, so it will create hierarchy automatically. It will create hierarchy. You can just open that up. It's already created my quarter and everything. It has created automatic hierarchy. But I need just the year and the month. So I can remove my quarter. I don't need it. I also want to remove, this one is more granular. This month here is showing it day by day. So I don't need the days. It will be too cumbersome. I just need the years and the month. And I come here, I try to quickly format it also. Just showing table formats and repeat all items. So from here, let me also filter by fashion line here. And at the same time, I will remove my grand total, so I don't need it. So when you have this list of dates like this, when you want to present a date range, even if it is more than this, it is better presented with line charts. When you want to like present this kind of timeline, it's better presented with a line chart. So when you come to insert, so you choose your line. So you can use different kind of lines. There's this one that is called line, there's stack line, 100% stacked. You can see if I over it, you can see the way it looks like. You can see the way this one looks like too. So you can decide to use any one that you like, but I want to use this one and I will click on my OK. All right, so this one is sales by dates. So I think that is all we need to do. Now let's try to name our pivot table. As I told you, I actually forgot, but we're not supposed to forget. Let's name this as table sales by date. Okay. So let's come to this our state again. Okay, there's something I forgot to do under my map charts. So now that we've been able to create this our map from this our copy and paste data, notice that if I update this data set here, this my pay special will not update. So I need to return that data range to this my pivot table. So what I will do is just to right click on my data and then click on select data. Another way you can go about that is to come to this you can also see that select data here. When you click it, you then update it with your pivot table. Now you can make use of the pivot table. You click OK. So it's initially, it will not bring it out simply because the pivot table. So we have to first do our copy and paste, use it to create the map, then bring back the data range to the pivot table. Now let me remove my grand total. That is what is causing confusion here. So now we have our table. So let's rename this pivot table as what? Table sales by states. Okay, so next is our sales by manager. We come here, table sales by managers. So the next one is sales by category. Is here. We go to our, so we name these as sales table, sales by category. We've already named this one here. So let's even create a chart with this profit, cost of sales, and sales data. So first I want to do is that I don't like this name in here. We can actually rename it. So what I did is that I just double click on this and then just name this as sales. This is enough. Double click on this one again. Name this one as what? Cost of sales, because this is what's going to appear in your presentation. And you want your presentation to be understandable to the users. Cost of sales. You click on your OK, and here profit is cool like this, profit margin. Let's leave it the way it is. So let's just create a chart with this. Inserts. So let's create a column chart. Let's use, yeah, this column chart is okay. But mind you, you remember that we have 3 data sets, I mean 4 kind of columns here. We have 4 columns. We have sales, we have cost of sales, we have profit, we have profit margin. The reason why you're not seeing this profit margin is because it's so small as compared with others. But we are not going to use it just like this. Let's go back to our chart again. Change chart type. Let's come to our combo. So here we can combine both line chart and column chart so that we make what we are doing beautiful. This profit, we don't want it as line chart. It should be a column chart. Let's take it back to how it was before. But this profit margin, let's make it a line chart and make profit margin a secondary axis. All those percentages should appear on the secondary axis. We just check this and then it will look better. For instance, if we don't make it a secondary axis, it won't look good at all. Let me show you how it will look like. Let me uncheck it and see. See the way it is. See where your profit margin is. So let's make it a secondary axis. So you must try to learn chart formatting, just the way you learn number formatting. Chart formatting is also a very, very important aspect that you need to familiarize yourself with. It's very, very important. So one last thing that we need to quickly do. Let's create sales by fashion line. Okay. So here, let me quickly, we are getting close to where we are going. So pivot table in this existing worksheet. So let me bring out my field lists and I'll go back to my measure again, the measure I computed, and this is the sum of sales amounts. And I want to choose the fashion line on the row. So now this is giving me my fashion lines. I'll be able to compare the two. I want to show value by percentage of column total. Percentage of column total. That is, I want to achieve 5 million divided by 11 million times 100% to show me the percentage. 6 million divided by 11 times 100. So that is when you choose this, your percentage of column total. So you can see now that it's showing me this one is 45% and this one is 55%. And I will now put this into a donut chart. Donut chart is going to help. Actually, you can use your, what is this one called again? Pie charts. But for me, I prefer to use donut chart. They do almost the same thing. Open my donut charts and then click OK. So let me rename this table as what? As table, sales by fashion line. All right, you will see the essence of this, my naming of my pivot table. So right now, I want to entertain our questions before we go ahead and start doing some other paintings. So who is going to say one or two things so far? I want to hear from us, actually. I've been the one talking. I want to hear from all of us. All right, please talk to me. I have a number of people here. What has been your experience? Do you understand? And just say one or two things about your understanding of what we've done so far, please. Patricia, please talk. Patricia, I want to hear from you. Unmute yourself and let's see. Hope it's not overwhelming, like this one that everybody is keeping quiet. If you are doing debit and credit now, all of you will be talking. Hey, it's not like that, it's like that.
Shaggy, you're not serious. Well done so far. Actually, I joined late, so but so far it's really insightful.
Okay.
And I think if I started from the beginning, I think I would have appreciated it more than I think you're recording it. I will not mind the recording, please.
Yes, I will surely share with you. No problem. Thank you very much.
It's really insightful. Well done.
Thank you very much. Olabi. Olabi, please talk to me. Abayomi Ogini. Abayomi Ogini. I think this is my boss. So this is Abayomi Ogini. I think I know this person.
All right. Hello. Well done. I think you've been doing justice to this thing for a while now, and I've been following closely what you've been doing.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Just like the other lady that just spoke now, I think she spoke my mind. Right. I understand that, I thank God you said that you will send the videos of the previous classes that you have held.
All right.
So I believe that by the time I sit down and I go through those videos, I will be able to appreciate what you are doing now in the more. But I'll be following closely anyway, and I can simply say that you have been doing an amazing job so far. So thank you. Well done.
Thank you very much. So one more person, I think I would like to hear from, where is Marianne? Marianne is no longer there. She has left. Let me hear from Olayinka, please.
Yeah, thank you. So far, it has been nice. Insight has been gotten from the activities being done today. However, I think the previous one, you mentioned that you've been doing it previous series. I've not watched that one, but maybe I will look at. But today's one, I started a bit earlier as well, so I got some insight. Thank you so much for the job.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I'll share the videos with you, the previous videos and today's video, and all the data that we've been working with. And I want to announce to you that we've made it halfway of where we are going. This is just halfway, or should I call it halfway, or maybe 65%. All right.
Yeah, you said this is just halfway.
Yeah, but you saw the picture I sent you. That is what we are trying to mimic. Maybe I should open it so that you can see it. We want to achieve this as much as possible. Let's say this. So we've been able to come up with our objective. From objective, we understood the data set. From the data set, we try to clean the data further and added more columns to it in Power Query. Then we brought it to Power Pivot. We did some DAX calculation. Both we did some calculated measures in Power Pivot and also in Excel, and we're able to show it in a tabular form. And this is what, if you use all those pivot table that we're doing, is just similar to when you are doing matrix visualization in Power BI. So this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to achieve, and everything will be slicing and dicing just like that. So let me just close this. I don't want to distract us with this. What did I close? Okay, sorry. Fine. Now let's create a worksheet and call this one our what? Dashboard. Let me take you to the beginning of the sheet. The first thing you do is that let's just take out all these grid lines. I don't like them. So how you do that is to come to this, your view ribbon, and then uncheck grid lines. But me, I will not go that far. I'll just press my Alt-WVG to remove my grid lines for me. And I want to come here and fill these with the lights.
Hello, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, I want to suggest if you can just like give us like 5 minutes break. Because even I've been sitting down there as a sports, and it's almost 2 hours now that the class has started. I can't even go to ease myself. So just like if you can give us 5 minutes break, I will appreciate that.
All right, that's cool. So let's take 5 minutes break and let's come back by what's time? By 12. Let's come back by 12:05. I hope I will still have this full class. So please don't go anywhere. It's very important. This is important to you and to
thank you.
Okay, 5 minutes break. Let me be your DJ. So if you have questions while other people are going on break and you feel you want to ask me questions, I'm here. Maybe other aspect of business intelligence, just tell me. My area of specialization is business intelligence and not, I don't do all these web something, all these other aspects. I am not a data scientist. I don't know about machine learning, but when it's about data analysis, I think I'm good to do. So you can ask me as many questions as possible. If you want to ask me about Microsoft Azure, ask me about Microsoft integration services, analytical services, reporting services, Power BI, advanced DAX, every of those aspects, or you want to go into financial modeling, valuation, etc. So ask me your questions. You can just gist.
So has this class been going on for some time? Because I saw like it's a 7 days class. I don't know, is today the last day or something?
7 days does not necessarily mean it's sequential. We started since early November, but it's only whenever I have the time. But I just made it, okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, but not necessarily. In fact, some in 2 weeks, we didn't even have a class. But we have the recordings for the 7 days. Today being the 7th day.
Okay. Are they on your YouTube page or something?
Yes, they're all on my YouTube page.
Okay.
So we started with different dynamic array formulas. We delve a little bit into macro, button activated macros. We did automating group financial reports with Microsoft Excel, formulas and functions. Now we are working on data analysis or business intelligence in Excel. The only aspect we didn't touch a lot of finance, how to use finance functions, maybe IRR, net book value, etc. So when you take my financial modeling class, you will learn a lot of that. Another aspect I didn't teach people in this series is VBA. Though I dealt with button activated VBA macro. VBA macro is just recording. It's just front end, but writing codes in VBA is back end. You go there, you write your code by yourself, and then you create a button for it, or you just create a shortcut, Ctrl-Shift-X, everything will be done. I remember a time whereby I created a VBA macro, a VBA code that converts, that was used for foreign currency conversion. At the click of a button, you can convert from euro to naira, you can convert from dollar to naira on a real-time basis. So a lot can be done with VBA. But more and more Python is replacing VBA because you can also integrate your Python with Microsoft Excel. You can integrate your Python with Power BI to perform similar automation.
Mr. Shogun,
Yes, sir.
I like this part that you just said because though I've also been looking forward to see how I can work on Python in relationship to Excel.
Okay.
So is there a way you are going to do a class for that?
No, I'm not going to do a class for that. Actually, to be honest with you, my Python is like 65% or 70%. I'm not very, or maybe less than that, safe. I'm not very strong with Python, but my major area is SQL, Power BI, Excel. Do I use Python a little bit for visualization? Maybe I want to use the Matplotlib, Seaborn, etc. So mine is just Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL. I know SQL very well, very, very well. And
so can we do SQL?
Yeah, we can do SQL, boy.
For next year, after Power BI.
Brother, I'm also working for a company. All these things I'm just doing it as a, how do I want to put it? Just like a side gig or just something I love to do. So it's not difficult for me to create.
Let me tell you something. What you are imparting for me, or what I learned here, I have over 200 people I also teach.
Wow.
Practically the same way.
In your company, right?
So even friends, colleagues, relatives, I do that.
Okay.
So it's a blessing because each time I'm having that class, I make you as my reference. In fact, I put your picture. Wow. And this is also the person which I'm learning from.
Just like me, I'm learning from Muyiwa Adebayo.
Wow.
Yeah, so we all have mentors, so I stick to him as much as possible.
So that Muyiwa is very good, like seriously.
Yeah, it is.
It's very good.
All right. Okay, let me try to play some music.
So on this, with this now, on the financial model,
okay,
I'm working on just with the guide of the one you shared with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been looking forward to see this dashboard. Though I was actually using Power BI to build something like that. Though I saw one video on YouTube purely on Excel using this same dashboard. So I was waiting patiently. Immediately I saw this, though I'm even receiving drip, I said I must be in this class to see. Because the one I did.
The dashboard in that financial modeling or financial modeling video is a bit different. It's based on financial model. So
I didn't have that.
Dashboard anywhere.
I didn't have that too.
But I share with you the videos now, like 5 videos, almost 16 hours.
Yes.
Of video. But
I checked the video, it's not there.
No, the last date you have.
Because I watched it.
The last date has the data presentation aspect. The dashboard is there. The dashboard is there. Go and watch it very well. It's not the e-commerce. E-commerce.
Yes, the e-commerce.
It's there.
Yes. Okay. I will go back to it. Because we have about 6 projects that I'm building financial model for.
Wow.
So I was able to use more of the index formula more. Then trying to look at three options: conservative, optimistic, and
Yeah, right. You're looking at different state of nature. You can also look at aggressive and conservative. Different things. They can make it most likely, less likely. So fine. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're gonna start the session now. If you're with me, just give me a thumbs up or something. Let me just use a chat box. Let me know that you are here. All right, Mohammed, thank you.
We are here, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. So let's just forge ahead. Let's be very fast with it this time around. So if you want to, there are different ways you might decide to present your dashboard. That one that you saw is just one way. You can decide to create a background. I hope all of you here, if you have been following me, you must know how to insert background picture in an Excel. You should. So you can decide to put a background. Let me see if I can put I don't want to waste your time because this is not what we want to do today. But you can just create a background that will look so beautiful. And then you can start putting your charts and you format it transparently so that the background can always show at every point in time. But this time around, I don't want to do the same thing. I've been doing it over and over again. I said, what new thing can I do to make my dashboard presentable, to look beautiful? You know, sometimes little color or little enhancements can make a lot of difference because we are driven by what we see. So if you do it jaku, people will just find it difficult to relate with it. So after you've done a good work in terms of your analysis, your presentation should also be top notch. So how did I achieve that blue color, blue background here? That is very key. So let's go to, what is it called? Let's go to PowerPoint. This is where I achieved it. All right. This is a trick that I want you to pay attention to. I open my PowerPoint. Then let me remove all these things here. So let me just hide my picture. Okay. So I want to insert a shape. If I insert a shape like this, I don't like this color. I'm going to use my own company color. So I'll go to format shape. Then you can click on your shape field. Then you can select any color that you think you like here. But me, I want to go to more color. And then I will type in my company color here, which is ash 002060 00260. Oh, why is this not changing? Let me start again. Color fill, more color, and then I come here, ash 002060. You can see now that it has changed to my company purple kind of color. Then this is all I need here. I also want to make the outline the same thing. This same color is already there. I'll just click on it. So what we now do to, like, I want to be able to separate where I want to put the charts. But one thing I will advise you is that before you create a dashboard, try to sketch it in a notebook so that you know which chart you want to put here, which color you want to present it, so that it will be less difficult for you. So me, I'll just come here. I want to insert this shape again. I can decide to do it this way. And then I'll fill it with white color. I will also fill this one with white color. Then I can, hello, are you with me? Are you getting it, Daniel? Daniel Mensah, are you still with me? Where is Daniel? I think.
Yes, we're with you, sir.
Okay, all right. So you copy and paste. Let's try to flip this. When you come to your shape format, rotate. You can flip it this way, and you can do it this way. So just try to like create this style anyhow you want it. But me, I will leave it like this for now. And then look at the magic. You come to this, everything is different now. It's not just one. So you come to your shape format. You come to this, okay, you select everything. Control A will select everything for you. Come to your shape format. Then you see your merge shapes. If you want to merge it this way, that is union. You remember your sets. And if you're coming from a SQL, if you're coming from SQL background, you understand what I'm talking about sets. Combine, we combine it this way. Fragment, we do it this way, but we want to choose this subtract. So when you click on this, it will automatically turn this to a single shape. You can see we don't have those other ones again. It's just one single shape. All right. So this is how to achieve it. I will close this one out, and I will just choose. I'm not going to save it. I will just choose the one I've done before, so that we can be fast. So I'm trying to open this. So this is where I started from. You can see I still have all those things, and this is the one that we are going to be using here. So do you understand? Can you do this? Can you replicate this by yourself? Hello, who is talking? Can you replicate this by yourself in your office?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I just copy this, and then I bring it into my Excel. You can see, I don't want it to pass that place I create. I don't want it to go past this one, because depending on your screen size, hello? Depending on your screen size, though my computer is very small, so you may have opportunity to expand your dashboard. But I like to see everything at a go, so that I don't need people to be scrolling down before they go and see the next chart. I like to see everything just all at once. So you may have better opportunity if you are using a very wide screen. Now let me give this a name. Insert my text box. I'll put it here. Oh no. Let's insert this again. Text box. I'll put it here. I'll call these words sales. Okay. Sales dashboard. Okay, let's say Crystal Trowell. Sales dashboard. Okay. Hello, please, who is talking? Please let's unmute so that we don't confuse each other. So let's format these. Let's format that text box. So I want to make it transparent. So I will say no fill, and I will also say no outline. But I want the text to be in white. Okay, so you can see, no, I don't want white. I want the company corporate color. So you click here, customize, and come here. I'll put my C6FF00. So just do the same thing for your company, and you will have this. Another thing I will advise you, you can actually create a color schema that you'll be using in all your work. Just pre-format your color scheme. Just come here. No, I think you can pre-format your color scheme, and that is what you'll be using going forward. It will be easy for you to just click on it, and that is one of the ways to save time. It's just like maybe you're using your cell style that I explained before. So let's make this bigger. Let's put it in 16. Okay. And then make it bold. Fine. Now, our sales by manager is here. Let's copy it. You may not cut it, just copy it and bring it here. Let's size it a little bit. Okay, let's leave it that way for now. We'll come back to it. Don't be angry with me. It's going to look fine very soon. Next thing I want to bring here, sales by category. Let me copy this and bring it to my dashboard. Let me place that here, sales by category. Okay. Let me just be formatting one after the other so that you are getting, so that you are appreciating the beauty of it. So I want to remove my field, hide all field buttons. I don't want to see field buttons. I also want to remove this, what is it called? I want to remove my legend. I don't want it so that I will have a lot of breathing space. Now we also come here. When you click your Control-1, it will bring out your formats pane, format chart area, Control-1, okay? Alternatively, you can just click, you can highlight on that chart and come to your formats, and then you can use this, your drop-down arrow, to bring that format pane. Then you come here. I don't want any solid fill, and I don't want any border, okay? So also, I don't want to see the grid lines. I don't like them, but there are occasions whereby you might want to use it. So here you highlight this, your list of names. You highlight only this one like this. You come to your formats, you make the color white, okay? Let's also reduce it. Okay, 99999. Let's see how 8 will look like. 8 is okay, fine. So here also, we make it 8. 8, and also we want to make it white. All right. So you can see now that it's beginning to show the beauty is coming out. But you can be creative with your own. Be creative as much as possible is allowed. So I want to show the chart title. Chart title. Let me bring this down a little bit. And then I want to call this sales by manager. Okay. And then let's make that one bold. Let's shift it to this side. All right, let me just make this one 11, size 11. So far, do you like what you're seeing? Let's make this one the corporate color. Control-1 to bring that one out. And then I already have my corporate color. I just put it there like that. Okay. I just want to be sure people are still with me. Oh, la, 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 la. To one. So please, are you still with me, ladies and gentlemen? So let's proceed. Now, let's quickly format this. Let me see if I can just... Okay, no, that doesn't work. All right, so let's remove all, let's hide field lists. Let's hide field button. I want to also hide this. Hide this. So this one, I want to format the number to, let's format it to billions. All right, so when you come to this, your format axis, you click on this, and then you format it to, okay, this one, you click on this, your display unit in billions. So you come here, there's still further formatting under your numbers. Let's show it in currency, and also format that to billion. Okay, let's just say BN. so that we can have more space there. So you can see now that this is showing in billions. So let's remove this billion sign here. This one also, let's remove it so that we can create our whole legend here. We create our own customized legend so that we can have enough space. Okay, so we can just come here. So as usual, let's no fuel and no solid line. Oh, what's going on here? So we come here, no fuel, no solid line. So let's make these whites. So we are just formatting now. We're just formatting, and this is where the professionalism come into play. How to make it presentable to people that want to read it. I'm telling you, this thing we are doing, you can present it in any management meeting, and they will appreciate your good work. I am telling you with all sincerity. Let's make this 8 as we've done for other ones. This one also is 8. This one is 8. Fine. So let's remove the grid lines. And then let us bring back our chart title. So we want to call this sales, cost of sales, and what? Profits. Cost of sales, profits, and profit margin. Let's just say profit margin. Is it coming too much? Margin by products. Wow. So let's reduce this to, let's say 9, because it's taking a lot of space. I would have loved the formatting or text size to be the same, but I also have to make that one 9, make it white, and then shift it to this extreme end here. There's a reason why I have to shift it to the extreme end, so that by the time I'm creating my own legend, I can always put it here. So let's format these columns. Let's format the columns. Let that one remain as it is. That blue is fine. But this yellow, I want a monochromatic color this time around. I don't want multiple colors. I want it to be monochromatic. So I'll come here. Let's choose something close to that blue. You see now? Can you see that I've already, I've achieved my monochromatic colors. I just want a different level of fading. And then we have that. So this is that. And then I change this one to my corporate color, which is here. So quickly, let us create our own legend, or let's see if the legend will not be too big. So if we put this legend here, you can see it's taking too much space. Even if we transfer it to the top, it's still not beautiful. Like I don't like it actually, but if you are creating your own, you can leave it. You can use the Excel automatic legend, but me, I don't want it actually. I'm going to create a new legend. Let me show you how to create legend. You can just come here and insert this text box again, as we've been doing it. Just create a very small box. So let's just make this one like, let's make it so small. We want to create our own legend, okay? So first and foremost, let's fill it up with this color. The shapes should also be the same thing. So let's try if we can create multiples of those. 4. All right. No. I don't want it this way. So let me see, we have, okay, I just want to be sure that people are still with me. So I will still use the same color. So very quickly, I will create another chat, another text box. I'll make this a bit bigger. So I will now type inside it. What should I want to type now? So this will be the sales. Okay. Let's format it. Let's make it white. and no fuel, no outline. So let's try to reduce it to, let's say 9. Let me see how 9 will look like, or even 8. So you can see now that we have our sales legend. Okay, let's click on these two. Oh no. Let's highlight these two like this. This thing is not letting me. So let me just do it one after the other. Let me highlight this here and create 4 other copies of it. Sometimes it's because the shape is too small. So what I will do now is just I will make it big, and then I can then format it later. Let me make it big like that so that I can be able to pick it easily. So let me format this one. Okay, this color, and this one also is the same color. So I can make multiple copies of this easily now. Let me try to delete all these ones. Oh no. Okay, I'll bring this one down. Then I can clear that out. You can see the challenge I'm facing. Nah. What am I going to do now? Okay, let me expand it and then click like this. Okay, it's because it's just too small. That is why. Okay, so let's just create this one here. Now, new text box. So I'll call this one my sales. And then I come here, I format that one. No fuel, no outline. No fuel, no outline, but the text should be white. And I put it in my, let's say 8, so that it will be very small, but people can still see it. So we have it that way. So I can then create 4 of these ones now. All right. Now I can reduce everything at once. Just hold on, you get what I'm saying now. So this one will be my cost of sales. Cost of sales. This one will be my profits. And this will be what? Profit margin. Okay, so let's delete all irrelevant shapes now. All necessary shapes. Let's just take them out. So these are the 4s that we need. So there's something you can also do. Let's format everything together. So let's align everything to the left. So let me reduce this. Oh no. Let me reduce this. And then also let's make this one like 0.05. Let's see how it looks like. Fine. So we can shift this to the right. Okay. So this one should be formatted as, let's format it as this color. This color here that we chose earlier. We chose this color. So this next one, we format as this light one. And then finally, the last shape, we format using our orange. So now we have successfully created our own chart legend. And in fact, you can even take this, bring it somewhere here. They call this our profit margin. Okay. So now let's bring this shape up and make it big. Let's bring this one out a little bit. So this actually wastes a lot of time, there's no doubt. If you are aware of visualization, you know that this formatting aspect is what takes the most time. Where can I just put this? Okay, we'll come back to this later so that we don't waste too much time on this. We find a way to place that. All right, so very quickly, let's go to our, let's take this, our states. So when we bring this now, we just copy, bring to our dashboard. Let's put it here. Let it occupy this side here. All right. So for me, I think the color is good enough. Let's not change the color, but you can if you want to change it. But I don't want to see it as orange. It's not going to look fine. So let's just leave it as this deep blue hash and everything like that. So as usual, let's format it, no fill and no border lines. So you can see now that it's good to go. So let's name this one as sales by states. Okay. So as we've been formatting, we have been making this one 11, I guess, 11. And then it's white text. It's white text. We make it bold. So we can't move this at all. It's unmovable somehow. So this one here, I prefer to format. I expect it to be picking. Okay, where's ours? Okay, so we need to reformat these numbers here to millions, the way we did it earlier. So automatically to pick that up in our dashboard, you can see now that it's in millions. Let's put it as what? As white. So, and that is all. That is all. We can just make it a bit bigger to feel. Let's make it a bit bigger. And that is the benefit of making it transparent. You can even make the chart overlap and it won't still affect anything. You can see now. It can overlap up to this point. See now. So that is just it. Okay. So the next thing is our sales by dates. Let's copy this and bring it to our dashboard. Paste it here. Still the same format. Let's go through here this time around. We don't want fill. We don't want line. Okay. So here, we want it to be shown as, we want it to display as what? As millions. So here we have okay, let us show it as millions. Okay. And then let's format that number. It should be in currency. Not only that, we want to put million behind it so that everybody will know. Let's even not put any decimal points. Let's just say, okay, let's put decimal. It makes sense. Let's just put MN like that and click on your HUD. So you can see now immediately you have your million sign. Then still format it as white. So we said we want it to be shown as just 8, just like we'll be doing for other ones. Let's remove this million so that we have more breathing room. We have more room to breathe. Let's remove this our legend. We're going to do a general legend for everything. So now we have this. We have our timeline. Let me remove all our field buttons. Those ones are gone. Even here, if you want to remove you may want to remove, no, let's just leave this one here. Instead of removing the outline, let's leave it the way it is. So now, we can still do further formatting here if we like. You can come here and say, okay, this one is starting, the minimum is starting from 0, the maximum is 4.5 here. So you can make the minimum to start from maybe 2, so that that chart will be a bit bigger. Let's see how it will be with just 2.0, and you click OK. Yeah, it's too big. Let's say 1.5. Yeah, so you can make your charts a bit bigger if this is what you prefer. But as for me, I will go back to default setting. Okay, now let's also make this one white text and reduce it to what? To 8. All right, so the last one is now our donut chart. We just copy this. Can you see now that we are achieving our objective, but yet we have not yet achieved everything? We still have more things to do. Let me remove, oh no. Okay, so let's format it. No fill, no border line. We make it smaller so that it is size that space that we've provided for it. So we call this one what? Sales by fashion line or fashion chain, depending on the vocabulary you want to use there. So I'll make it bold. Then I want to use my size 10. Let's even use size 10 for everything. Size 10. So I can shift it up here. So in case I want to make this, you can still format this your donuts. When you come here, you can increase that donut hole so that the shape will be smaller. And if you like, maybe this is how you like to present it so that the shape is big. But me, I'll just retain it as 75. All right. So I want to show the percentage so that people can, because everything is looking almost the same. So let's bring out the chart label, add label. So here you can just add your label. So you can see now that we have this 45. Here also, let's add label. Oh, the label was supposed to come up at the same time for the 2. So you have your add label. So we have the label for the 2 now. So you make it white, right? So, and also we can format it to just 1 decimal place. Hello, is somebody talking to me? We format the number and then let's just general, we want to format it as percentage, and then it should be just 1 decimal place. You add that to it. You can bring it out from the data. You can bring it out like this, but we need to make this thing a bit bigger. I'm not satisfied as the way it's so small like this. So let's just overlap some places so that we can have a much bigger chart. So I think it's okay, Lizzie. It's okay like this. Okay, another thing I can do, let me just click in the chart itself and expand it. All right, this is better. This is much better. Okay. Fine. So do you want to go on another break? Or we should just continue and finish it up? So the next thing we're going to do now is to create slicers. How many of you know how to use slicers in Excel? Hello, talk to me. Chart title. I want to call this sales by dates. Sales by dates. And then make this one white, make it bold, and then use the same 10 that we'll be using in terms of font size. So that is that. I hope you guys are not tired.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Please ask me questions.
I can't find the screen. I can only hear your voice.
Okay, you can only hear my voice. You cannot see my screen. So let's just do what we did the last time, maybe to fix it. So let me now share it again. How about now? How about now?
It's sharing. Yes, I can see now.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
So let me format this as my usual, my normal orange color. Fine. So this one also, we can format this to that same orange color. No. I only want for that part of the donut. You have to select it very well. So orange, fine. So let's create slicer. You can create timeline. If you have a very wide range of dates, you can create timeline. But here we're just going to create a slicer. Okay, to create a slicer, let's go and you have to click on that that pivot table. Sales by date, where are you? So you will click on this pivot table. Otherwise, it will not create connection. You will not be able to slice. It will only create that button month 1, 2, 3, 4, but you will not be able to like create connection between all the data. What I want to achieve now is that by the time I click on dates, if I click on January, everything here should be showing me data for January. You understand? If I click February, everything should be showing me data for February. And if I don't want to click anything, I should just remove all slicer. So I should remove all filters. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. Pardon my English. So now you click on this like this, and then come to your insets, slicer. So we want we need the months. We need the months. So we want these months. This month here is only talking about, the way the column was labeled is month, and it contains all the list of dates, both the day, the year, and everything. But we want just this month. So we created that. We can copy this, or we can cut it like that, bring it to your dashboard, you paste it there. After you've pasted it, you come to your format slicer. Immediately you highlight on this. That slicer format pane, ribbon, will show immediately. So you click on format slicer, and I want it to be on the horizontal axis like this. I don't like this vertical. You just continue to click it like that until everything is on the horizontal axis. Then I want to be able to see the buttons. So until I'm able to achieve seeing each of those buttons, like I want to make it as small as possible. Okay, no, I don't need this. So here, I want to shrink that. You can see the way you format your slicer. I bet it with you, this thing that you are learning here is going to be it's going to be helpful for your career. You can go ahead and replicate this knowledge anywhere. So here, I want to remove that month name. Everybody already knows that this is a month name, so I don't have to show it so that I can have more space. For instance, now if I want to push it here, it's not going to size it. So I want to remove that. I'll come to my slicer settings and then uncheck display header. So now I can have more room to play with. Can you see that? So this can then size this place now. It can size this place without interfering on our lines and everything. So one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, come to your slicer. You can design a custom slicer. Okay? You just click this drop down and you click on new slicer. Let's name this one as our date slicer. So the whole slicer, that is this external side, this background, I want to make it the same background as our dashboard. So you come to your format, okay? Come to fill. So let's give it that, our custom, or I think we can even select it here directly. It's the same color there. So you click on OK. So you come to your header. Do we have header? No. We're going to create a different. So select items, selected items with data. That is selected items like this. When you select it and it has data, how do you want it to look like? Just come here. Or what should the fill be? Let's make it a lighter blue. This light blue that we are using for our charts here. And what font do we want to use? Let's use our orange. And let's make it 10 this time around. That is, the font size should be 10. If you want to create, if you want to make a kind of border around, there's already a light border already. What color do you want the border to be? Let's say it should be white. White. Or let's just use the same yellow color. So in fact, if you don't like what you've done, you can always come back and replace it. So let's just leave it that way and click OK. So we formatted that. All selected data, all selected items with data, format that. I want it to be a lighter shade of blue. Okay. So, and the font also should be this 10. And the font color should be, these are orange. And we can click on OK. Now you can see that it has not affected the slicer. You just go back to the slicer and you choose your custom. You can see date slicer, the one that we've made. You click on it. Now you have your slicer formatted beautifully. All right. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Let me read this. Please, can you share the recording with me on EST something? Kindly share on so. Don't worry. Zoom had already collected your email address. I will send it to your registered email address. All right. So any question so far? Can you still continue?
Yes, sir, we can continue.
Okay. Let's start.
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. It's taking a lot of time, I understand, but just bear with me. Manage with me, okay? We are all learning together so that we can be better in our life. Now, let's create 3 more slicers. We want to create slicer. Let me see what I wrote here. We want to create manager slicer, year end, etc. So you click on this, your pivot table again, insert slicer. So, and here we choose managers. Choose manager. Okay. Copy that. Cut that and bring it here. So let's go to our sales by category. Let's just click here. Let's click here and then insert another slicer. So if you want to insert timeline, I will show you, but we're not going to use it. So let's say the financial year. So we have financial year. So we cut this, we bring it to our dashboard here. Lastly, product category. Okay, we already have product, okay, manager, so product category this time around. So we come here, insert, timeline, no, insert, slicer. And you know this slicer in Microsoft Power BI, it's always very helpful. That is what you use for filtering. We have category. Where are you? Product categories. Okay. So we cut these also, and we take it to our dashboard. All right. So I don't want us to use this because I want a smaller text. So I'm just going to adapt the existing slicer. So I can duplicate it like this and call this one other slicers. So these are, I want to format other slicers. So the whole should still be the same. Data, it should be the same. I only want to change the font size to 8. I want to change the font size to 8. The font color should remain the same. I click on OK. This one too is only the font size that I want to change to 8 because it's a lot of text. So now I can click on my OK. So I will now come here, my manager, click on my slicer. This is my second slicer is what I will use this time around. You can see. Then I can then reduce it. I can reduce it and then reduce this place here. People should still be able to manage like that. Let me reduce it here. So you can always scroll in case you are looking for a particular manager that you want to show. You can scroll here until you get what you're looking for. So once I want to remove this slicer edge, I don't want it. So I can always create my own heading. So the essence is that it can give me more room. It can give me more breathing space. So I can just borrow from any of these that we already have. Copy. So I can bring it here and call these my words, managers. Managers. I'll surely make this bigger. Let's make it 10. Let's make it 10. And then make it bold. Are you sure that is 10? I think I didn't get it. 10. Okay, so this looks better now. So for the dates, I want to use that dates format here. All right, so let's also do what we've been doing before. This is small, it's very easy to manage. It's much more easy to manage. So I can come here and remove the display header as I've done for others. Then I'll reduce this even more. Gives me room. So you come here, you can borrow from here and call these words. You call this your financial year end. Financial year end. Okay. So lastly, we also format these with our second slicer. Here, I will remove my display header. And I want to reduce the text inside here. Okay, I reduce the text like that. Okay. So this is it. Can bring this one here. Let's make it a bit smaller. And then you can also borrow this slicer title and call this category, or you want to call it products. So that is that. So one more thing that we need to do is to create connection. We want this, for instance, if I click on match, it doesn't really do so much. It doesn't do so much. So let me just clear the filter. But I want this filter here to filter down my sales manager. I want to know what Udom sold in January. So to do this, I will just right click. You see somewhere that is called create connection, report connection. So when you click on your report connection, you will now choose all those pivot table that you want this slicer to affect. So I don't want it to affect this date table. I want the date table to be the way it is. So I will uncheck dates. So, but I want it to slice other things apart from dates. So I've already checked other things. I will click OK. Right now, you will see the way it's going to slice all these charts here. And as it's slicing the charts, it's slicing the pivot tables that, the pivot tables we used to create it. That was why it was important for us to bring back the data range to the pivot table when we're creating our map charts. Because if we had left it with that, pay special figures, it will not slice. So when we click on February now, so this is our February figure for everything that affected everything. So you can click on April. You can see the way it's even moving. And there's something you can also do so that shape will not move with slicer. Like there's something like that, if I've not forgotten. Move charts, assign. So if you understand what I'm trying to talk about, can you just remind me? There's a way you can format it so that the shape will not move. Let's see, format chart area. If you come here, look aspect ratio, property. Okay, move and size with cells. But here I want to say, don't move and size with cells. This is what I was looking for. So, and I will repeat the same thing on all the shapes. You can see now, so the shape will not be moving. Can you see that? Can you see a lot of difference? Now look at this one that we've already formatted as don't move with shape. You can see now that when I click on this, it's not going to affect the size of the shape itself. So that's exactly. Look at this one now. Okay, look at this here. So when I just pay attention to these sales, profit, and etc. If I click on this, can you see that the shape is changing? I mean, the size of the shape is changing, and I don't want that. Okay, so let me clear filter. Then come out this shape again, Ctrl+1. Under property, don't move or size with cell. Let's do the same thing for this one. This is where you spend a lot of time. At least 80% of your time will be spent here. I can bet it with you. If you want to present a very, very professional dashboard, you spend a lot of time here. So you come here, don't move, size. Fine. So let's also create a connection for all the other slicers. Let's create connection, report connection. So I want it to slice other things apart from the dates. And I will tell you why I'm not slicing the dates. While I was trying to prepare this dashboard, I had a problem. Anytime I slice a date, maybe it's choosing only 2020. So this will just come here and it will collapse this. And when it collapses this like this is how the shape will look like. And even if I unfilter, it still will not return it back to the default size. So I've been looking for how to make everything opened so that whether I filter by date or whatever, it will not still affect, this thing will not collapse. So that is just, I couldn't get it. So if you have an idea, just tell me. I'll be happy to learn from you. So now, we are in our report connection. We want to make connection with other tables apart from the date table. Then we can click OK. Now we can show for only Ajoshe. You can see this is Ajoshe Kolawole. This is Chike. And so also is affecting, slicing everything. This is what is called digital storytelling. You know, if you look at what my write-up when I was advertising or when I was announcing this training, I told you that we're going to do digital storytelling. So your manager might say, okay, I want to see the contribution of Chike to the sale of this organization. Then just click on his name, Chike Obi, okay. And this thing that you are seeing here, sum of sale, his value is 406 million. That is what he had contributed. And he had only sold, and this is representing only for Lagos style. He had not sold anything for Crystal Gill. You understand? And this thing that is giving you additional information is called tooltip. This white thing that you are seeing here is called tooltip that is giving you further information. So it's also helpful here. It's helpful everywhere. You can use your tooltip to get additional value. All right, let me clear that filter there. So let's create filter for the year. I think I'm winding down gradually. So let's it affect other things apart from the date too. So we click OK. And then we come here, the last but not the least. So we also report that connection, category, this, and this. All right, let's clear filter. Clear filter. So if we choose this, we should be able to like do further filtering using our, if I click this now, I should see only items for this Lagos style. So let's see, we can also create connection between these are our charts. Let me see if that is possible. Okay, if I highlight this like this, oh, it's actually not possible. But I was expecting that I should be able to click on this and it should slice down other things. Anyway, but in Microsoft Power BI, when you click on a line, it will filter down other aspects of the dashboard, the other charts. It's going to filter them down. But I think that is not applicable here. Pardon me. Or maybe I'll go and do more research about that. And that is also opportunity for you to go and research it. So this is all we've done. And you can decide to, okay, one more thing. Let's create additional legend. The legend that will tell us about every other thing. So I want this one, this time around, I want it to be bigger. Let's create additional legend like this. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. Okay. So this one will be what? Let me copy from here. I'll put it here. So let's make every blue color is Brilliant Gill. So we call this Brilliant Gill. Brilliant Gill. And we format this one as blue color. It's here. It's here. So anybody that is going through this dashboard can know that everything here, this one is Brilliant Gill. You can see this one is what? Lagos style. This one will give us Lagos style, Brilliant Gill, just like that. And it's going to affect everything. Apart from this one, simply because we have our sale, cost of sale. So we need to create a different legend for this. I'm always having trouble speaking this thing. Is there any other way I can pick it very easily? Tell me. So we call these words. Oh no, it's not accepting that, please. Okay, so this is our Lagos style. And mind you, all these things I just created them on my head. It's not like these are not real data, but it's a simulation of a real data. So I don't know what is Lagos style. I don't even know the meaning of Brilliant Gill, whether there's anything like that. I have no clue. So, in fact, we can make this a bit bigger. Let's make it bigger. Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, one more thing that we need to do. Let's see. Let's take, everything here. There's no one showing Lagos. For instance, if you look at Lagos here, that place is void. And when you come to our sales by states, we don't have data for Lagos. Let's just see if our business intelligence skill will work. Let's go to our training workbook. We have this sales data for Lagos. It's in the same shape and form, the same number of columns, the same column format. But we are just assuming that maybe at the time that we were preparing this our dashboard, Lagos department or Lagos branch had not sent in their report for the year or for the month. So it can also be on the basis of month. Maybe you always compile, maybe it's on a yearly basis. You already have results for 2003 to 2008. And you've used that to prepare your dashboard. You can just bring 2009, 2010 and throw it into your folder like this, and it should update, all things being equal. So let us copy and put it in our folder. All right. So let's now come back here to our data and then click on refresh. Let's see. You remember that we had 11 point something million, right? So we should be having 12 now in terms of the total sales. Let's see. It's passing everything through Power Query, through Power Pivot, bringing it back into Excel. And then let's see if it had updated and given us Lagos. I was scared. I thought it would not show. So this is Lagos here. And then when you go to your sales by category, it's no longer 11 point something. It should be 12. It should be 12. So let's try to get the, okay, let's just quickly build a different, to showcase that, let's build a different Power Pivots. There we come here, pivot table, new, okay, existing. Remember it was 11 point something million before. So put that in mind. Field lists. So we can come here. Where is our total sales? We put it here. We also need this, we need our sum of sales. Let's do it by category. By category. So you can see now that we are having 12 points. So we've updated our data. And this is the beauty of business intelligence. Let's say you have done a lot of data shaping that took you 2 weeks to shape everything. So create further calculated columns, complex calculations. You've done it in Power Pivots. And the whole business intelligence process are taking you 3 or 6 months. I'm betting with you, it takes 6 months in some big organization before they put everything together, because it takes a lot of iteration. You are going back and forth. The departmental manager is saying, this is not what I want to see. You can do it this way. You go back again to the data wrangler. You try to generate the data in a different way, additional column, break columns into pieces. It took you a lot of time. And because you now want to update it with new data that has arrived, are you going to start from the beginning again and go and spend another 6 months? If I'm the CEO of that company, I'm going to cancel the entire process because there's no value addition to that. And the value addition, as I told you earlier, is in this, our refresh button. In any data visualization tool or business intelligence tool you are using, your refresh button is the value addition, the most important aspect of the whole process. Now you can see how we've updated it up to 12 million. And we've also included everything had been updated here. Naturally, everything has been updated. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like to entertain your questions before we call it a day. So let's just show if as much as possible, let's show our video now. Let me see your beautiful faces. Let's see your beautiful faces.
Excuse me, please, I have a question. When you went back to the folder to pick the data with Lagos.
Just a moment, I'm trying to How do I do it that I'll be able to see everybody at once? Okay. Oh no, I'm not getting it on. Okay, so talk to me.
I said when you went back to your folder, so click the sales data with Lagos.
Yes.
So what did you when you clicked on when you picked the information, what did you do for you to be able to refresh or for you to
I went to my data ribbon and okay, now let me just get out of here. I don't want to select anything. So I went to my data ribbon and then you see this refresh all. In fact, you can refresh if you are selecting a particular pivot table, you can refresh that one, but it's better you just refresh all. And this will go through the entire workbook. The refresh will go through your Power Query.
Before you got to refresh, did you paste it anywhere?
I know I don't paste it. I just throw that, remember what we did initially. When we connected, we got data from where? From folder. So it only took that link to the folder. So you could have gotten your data from Excel worksheets, but you cannot use this kind of refresh except you update that Excel sheet alone. But when you are using a folder link to get your data, it already combined, and I click on combine and transform. So that means that as many documents that you are pushing into that folder, as long as it's is arranged the same way, especially when you're working with general ledger, or you have a ledger from month 1 to December, you want to create and you want to produce your year-end financial statement, and you want to pass it through Power Query, Power Pivot, and then create a dynamic report, just as the one I did in my earlier video. You can just create half-yearly. Maybe the first 6 months, you've already generated your half-yearly reports. And then by the time you are ready for the year end, maybe January of the following year, just take the last 6 months, just throw it in that folder. You don't need to do anything. Come back to your reports, click on refresh, and you have everything. That is why it is possible to generate your management account in 5 minutes. That management account that takes you weeks in your office, you can do it in 5 minutes if you have leveraged automation in Microsoft Excel. So thank you. Any other question? Any other question? Ladies and gentlemen, ask me.
Yes. Okay, on the legend we did for that sales, cost of sales, profit.
Yes. Okay, yeah, we need
to. Is there no way it can be automated?
This legend here.
No, the one down.
This one here.
The one that sales, profit, cost of
legend.
sales.
This is the legend. I just forgot. We need to update this. We need to make it more beautiful. Automated, so that it will, okay, should in case I change from cost of sales to something else, right?
Yes, because I know there is one.
Yeah,
they always check.
I know you must have, probably you've seen me do something similar before. But why stress ourselves since this is what we want to show? But in case you want to do something like that, let me just try. You come to this, your sales. Let's say these are our sales. Oh, sorry, it's covering it. These are our sales. Let's bring it here. So just come, when you highlight like this, you come to this, your formula bar. You click on your equals to. Let's come to our sales by category. Let's see if it will work. Or you can just bring it to this last one that we did. Any data here that has sales as a column name. So it says by category. So you can just click on your sales here and click OK. So now you can see the sales inside this now. So in case you now come here to this sales by category and you change this name to let's say gross sales. I'm still going to bring it back. It's not really gross sales. So it should have updated in that dashboard here. You can see now that we have gross sales. So you are correct. We can automate it. Almost anything can be done in Excel. Before you go ahead and learn Python, before you go and learn all those big things, learn Excel first. Okay? Can see? We have our gross sales here. You can use it to bring back number from anywhere. So I would recommend that you take my financial modeling class. If you are here, I want to improve your modeling skill. I'm here for you. A training is coming up very soon and is focused on project modeling, project financial modeling. And if you want to launch your corporate finance skill, then you should take that course. So very quickly, we've done what we want to do. We can call it a day now. I will just need to arrange this legend, and I will not be sending you this workbook. Sorry to tell you that. So you just watch this video again and try to replicate the same thing and do your way. Try to be creative about how you go about your own, different charts, different shapes, everything. So thank you very much for joining us today. I'm so glad to have you, and I look forward to another time together. Thank you. Or do you want to say something before we go?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Can we ask, can you also, I saw that you're doing a lot of shortcuts.
I didn't hear that, please.
You do a lot of shortcuts.
Yes, I do shortcuts. It makes
So
my life
maybe you
better.
can, yeah, you can put, you can help us put in what you're saying. Is, you know, you say, I know Control A is copy. There's some shortcut that can save you, like save your life a lot of issues.
Yeah, I don't know about all those shortcuts. You know, let me just tell you a simple way you go about your shortcuts. Just a few ones. It's just, for instance, maybe you have here Adewumi Shegun. Adewumi Shegun. That is my name. And if I want to make it bold, just press your Alt first. After pressing Alt, you can see different numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see letters here. You understand? But I want to go to home ribbon. So you press your H. When you go to your home ribbon, so you can see where you can make it bold now is under this B. And what do you have here? You have 1. You press 1. So you can see now that it's bold. If I want to increase, if I want to change the fonts, the Alt H again, go to, if you want to give it a different color, Alt H, FC, then you can choose any color you like, make it green. All right. So let's just assume you want to insert one line, or I mean, you want this to be on line 6. So you want to insert one line on top, Alt H. So Alt H, you see this I is showing insert I. And what do you want to insert? You want to insert row, you want to insert column, you want to insert row. You can do the same thing for column to Alt H I C. You can see now, Alt H D C. That column. So anything, if apart from Alt H, you can also say Alt W. For instance, now when I wanted to remove the grid lines, Alt W, where is grid lines here? You can see now VG is grid line, VG. So if you want to like fix pane, Alt WFF to fix it up. So just follow the alphabet, but there are some that you do with control something, and that is another one entirely. So this is not part of the class, but it's just an addition. Thanks for the session. Hope we would be able to get the video. Yes. So thank you very much. I'm so glad to have you today.
For the company color, how can we get a dedicated color that we want to be used to?
Use any color you like. As long as you see, you must put your creativity and your ability to combine color. Because it won't be nice now that you have like 7 colors on this dashboard. People will be confused. You understand me? Use a color that's let be limited to a few colors. You can see the way I've done it. if I said this one would be red, green, and this one should be yellow, and and I'm using a different color here, I'm using hash here, like this is professionalism. You don't need to use too many colors. That is because I don't want to use too many colors. That is why I use monochromatic color here. Because I want to avoid using too many colors, because I know I have multiple columns that I want to differentiate, but I don't want to differentiate them with different colors. So I use monochromatic. So thank you. I'll just need to rearrange here so that it looks beautiful. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your holiday. Bye.
Thank you, Shegu. Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Please, how do we now get the recording?
I will share it with you, your email address.
All right, that will be fine. Send to your WhatsApp.
Do you have our email address?
Yeah, I already have it. Don't worry.
You don't have mine. I will send it to your WhatsApp.
Okay.
How
did you now log into this training?
You sent it to my WhatsApp.
Yeah, but I believe Zoom would have copied it for me somehow. But nonetheless, okay. If I don't have your email address, I'll send it to your WhatsApp. But Zoom would have extracted this for me.
All right, thank you.
And please don't forget the videos of the previous classes, please.
Let me just stop. Let me just stop recording first, so that this thing don't just. Anytime somebody see it now, they'll be so